Racer Radio on AM 1170 The Answer is sponsored by Love Radio Network. This is Racer Radio on AM 1170 The Answer. If it's a car, motorcycle, boat, or anything else with an engine in San Diego, it's on Racer Radio. Now, here's your host, Dave Stahl.
All right, folks. Hey, welcome. You are listening to Racer Radio, the only radio show in San Diego, heck, in Southern California that I know of, that's 100% dedicated to the racer. Everything from about 6 years old all the way up. Track segment brought to you by El Cajon Ford. They sponsor Barona Circle Track. Go to baronaspeedway.com. I've been told by a little mouse that the schedule is up so you can keep track of what's going on. And let me tell you what, we got Mark Rose in the house. Mark is really involved in the San Diego motorsports community, raced at Cajon Speedway. You do any racing out at Barona?
I did. I was fortunate enough to be in a dwarf car a few times out there. Didn't go over real well, but it was a lot of fun. Hardest thing I've ever driven.
Really?
Absolutely.
What were the challenges?
Getting in and out of the car.
Well, besides that, that's a little bit of a smaller car, folks. You can't see him, but he's not 135 pounds. Okay, we'll just leave it at that.
He's not Brittany size.
No. So you sort of jumped out. Now you own a company, and the company name is?
It's I manage Express Pipe and Supply. We're a plumbing wholesale house out in Santee.
Okay, so you manage it. Okay.
Yes. I
made you an owner.
Yeah.
You promoted.
Taxes coming. Taxes. No, I'm not kidding. And you really, well, your owner must be backing you on this, unless it's coming out of your own pocket.
It's coming out of my branch. It all comes out of my branch, and
you sponsor what? What do you actually sponsor out of the track? Do you have specialized in anything?
Well, I'm sponsoring the this year they're called the Barona Nomad dwarf cars. Mm-hmm. Last year they were just the Barona Speedway dwarf cars. I sponsor their hard charger. You know, not everybody's going to win every race, so right. Whoever passes the most people and improves the most in one race gets the Express Pipe and Supply Hard Charger Award for that night.
Who makes that determination?
The scoring out of the Speedway. I don't have to do I don't have to do anything. I provide usually $50 worth of Milwaukee tools. Milwaukee helps me out quite a bit with the Speedway. And I also sponsor Chris Fritz out there in a street stock and Greg Mann in a street stock.
Yeah.
And last year, Troy Salazar asked me if I'd be interested in doing something like the Dash for Cash. Mm-hmm. So now the premier event that night, whoever's up first, the fast four guys from that division go out and run 4 laps, and it's called the Express Pipe Dash for Cash, and whoever wins that gets $100 cash money.
How sweet is that? And, being an old-time racer, it's kind of like, when you're done racing, it's, geez, how do I give back? How do I give back? And, you could have been a car owner, you could have been a wrench. I think what you're doing would be what I would be doing, writing checks.
Wow, it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
It's a lot cleaner.
But Ed, we were talking a little bit off air that, coming from Cajon Speedway, you used to race with a lot of the guys, and you're throwing names out that, were just making me go back into La La Land. But one of the names you brought out is Seifert, and he still races, I understand. Off-road, dirt.
Yeah, we broke our teeth out with Jeff Seifert. I was crewing for Jeff in a spec truck, and then he jumped into a late model sportsman out there, raced with likes of Ronnie Esau, Mike Mendenhall, Mark Meach, and raced out there with that. And then we went into the NASCAR Southwest Tour.
Oh.
Fortunate enough to win the last 100-lap Southwest Tour race at Cajon Speedway. Right. Jeff ended up leading every lap, all 125 laps of the Coors Light 125.
And nothing broke. Everything you touched stayed on the car.
Unfortunately, it was.
I used to be a crew chief. I know that ugly feeling.
It was a group. It was definitely a group effort.
But when it fails, guess who it's on?
And true story. I leaned into the car. Mark Meach had put a piece of duct tape on Jeff's steering wheel, and he had qualified behind us. We started on the outside pole, and Mark Meach put a sticker on Jeff's dash and said, "See you in a few laps." So it was kind of an icebreaker. We really respect Mark.
See you in a few
laps. But I told Jeff Seifert, drive this car into one until you see the Lord's face himself. And when he looks back at you, you turn left. And
and it worked.
Thankfully, it worked. We came out of turn 2 with the lead and never looked back. So,
in the dark, I might add.
Yeah.
Remember how turn 2 was so dark?
It was. It was.
But that was a real eye opener. That got you meeting the man every once in a while.
And then we stepped up, and Jeff was fortunate enough to buy a couple of off road trucks, and We raced in the Lucas Oil Off-Road Series in the Pro 2 and the Pro 4 division. Tough sport, man. It takes a lot of money, a lot of dedication, a lot of time.
And a lot of work.
A lot of work.
Because you beat those vehicles to death.
3 years ago, Jeff broke his back out there at Lake Elsinore. Sold both of those trucks. Jeff still has a trophy truck, and we're going to get it together and hopefully do some races. We're not going to race in Mexico, but we'd love to do the Mint 400 again next year.
How's he feeling?
He's doing good. He's doing really good. He started another company, so he's really involved in the off-road community. He's doing a bunch of side-by-side stuff like the Polarises and a company called AK Hard Parts out in Santee.
Okay.
So we're always playing with something. That's for sure.
You say you don't want to go down to Mexico and race, but before you say no, have you ever heard of the NORA?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. A friend of mine raced it last year.
Yeah, I got to be the announcer for the first 3 years, and it was just, I didn't get to race, but I was talking to people like Walker Evans, and Walker says, yeah, he says, this is the first time I've been through this territory that I could actually slow down and look and enjoy this scenery, because it's really a rally, and it's a tribute rally is what it is. It's not hardcore.
Yeah, it's a 5 or 6 day race if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. You start in you start in Tecate, then you go to Bay of LA, Loreto, La Paz, and then Cabo. But yeah, it's so you do have to stay in it. So, what they get a cash prize? Do they get anything else? Do they get like a trophy?
Always a trophy. Cash prizes are pretty minimal.
Yeah. Well,
in any motorsports,
they weren't going to get it anyway. I mean, it's nice that somebody's doing it.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy to do it. I want to give back to the community. We need more people out of Barona Speedway doing the same thing.
No kidding.
El Cajon Ford does a lot. Maxima Racing Oils came on board with Troy this year.
Right.
Wayne Miller from Wayne Miller's Automotive in Lakeside came on.
Yeah.
We just need more people doing it.
Right.
It helps.
Well, we need to go get all of the old Cajon Speedway guys that are kicking their feet and crying and whimpering because when they drive by that piece of property, it's still empty, and get involved in Barona. I don't know why,
Yeah, they don't necessarily have to race a car anymore, but just to get involved and help promote it. Maybe help turn a wrench on somebody's car for them every once in a while.
Right. I don't understand if you go out there, it's infectious. You see what is going on.
Absolutely.
You want to help.
It really is.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's take a quick break. When we come back, a whole lot more right here on Racer Radio. This is FM 96.1, AM 1170.
The answer.
Hey, we got Mark Rose in the house. We're going to let him kind of fill up the last 6 minutes. He's a big sponsor out of Barona Speedway. He used to race at Cajon. Now he's crew chief. He's done some off-roading.
The season's getting underway, so we got him in here to talk about what he's doing out there at Barona. And he cruises around in the pits, and he's hands-on.
That's what he's supposed to do.
He enjoys that.
Well, you're a crew chief, right?
I wouldn't. I'm not a crew chief.
Or you're a crewman.
I was a crewman for a few different people out of Cajon. Like I said, Mike Mendenhall, Jeff Seifert, John Mankey, and no, it's just time. I want to give back to the community.
Sure.
I want to give back to the Salazar family. They're doing a great job out there. Troy's come out with his brother Todd, and they've repainted the grandstands. They've repainted the crash walls, the light fixtures.
They put up new speakers too.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, as we speak, they're up there testing the new transponder series. So they're going to have transponders up there on the race cars this year.
That's a great idea.
It's going to take all the scoring problems away. The poor ladies are up there scoring the cars.
Yeah.
Can you imagine doing
By
that?
hand.
Pen and pencil.
Can you imagine doing that? I wouldn't do that on a bet. They don't.
No.
And that's volunteer, I think.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
That's a amazing thing. So yeah, they're doing lots of every year. Last year they redid the whole track.
Yeah. Yeah, and they brought in all new clay.
And rumor has it they might be putting a little bit more banking into the track this year. So that's going to bring in a second groove, a higher groove.
That's just because Todd likes pushing a dozer around. He just wants to make something. That's all. He wants to change it up a little bit. That's awesome.
Cool that you are interested in seeing that things keep going and motivating the racers. The Dash for Cash. That's awesome stuff. That's fun.
It's just a way to give back. I want to figure out if there's somebody out there that can help promote the kids racing.
Sure.
There's 3 different divisions of kids out there in the mini dwarfs, the mini sprints. I can't even think of them all, but there's 3 or 4 divisions out there. These kids try so hard. They have a small track on the infield of Barona, on the infield of the quarter mile. Just to see those kids come off the racetrack, even if they don't win, they are smiling from ear to ear.
Yeah.
Great program out there.
Well, they're your up and coming drivers. We had Grayson.
Yeah, we had the whole family, the 3 kids and the 2 parents, and they're like 6, 8, and 10. The cutest thing ever.
No, I'm talking about Grayson, or like one we had in last week, that one little 6-year-old.
Right.
He's been in 3 races, been in 3 different tracks, and done quite well. And and he's 6 years old, but that's how it starts.
And he's amazing, And
his mom says he's got great grades.
Yeah.
He's a good kid. He keeps his room clean.
Very passionate.
Well, because you'll take the race car away.
Absolutely. Got to have that carrot out there in front of you.
I hear you.
All right. Well,
so you're with, what's the name of your company?
Express Pipe and Supply.
And they're in El Cajon.
Santee.
Oh, Santee.
And we appreciate, and they're a commercial plumbing and a supply company, but will sell to the general public.
Absolutely.
And the only reason I bring that up, folks, if you're out cruising around Santee and you see their sign or their building and you're into motorsports, stop, walk in, and tell the person you see, hey, thanks for supporting Barona. And if you don't want to buy a piece of pipe, that's fine. Get back in your car. But at least stop and acknowledge.
Stop by for a cup of coffee. We've got the Barona schedules there. They're free to whoever comes in to get them.
Oh, good.
Nice.
Troy dropped those off. So, yeah, stop by, say hi.
Yeah.
We've got tools, whatever your plumbing needs are. But this isn't about me. This is about Barona. And
sure.
we want people to show up out there on April 6th for the opener.
But we want more businesses to do that. And so it's okay to toot your horn just a little bit, because without companies like yours, it would be tougher for these guys to get around the track.
It would, and I appreciate it.
All right,
very
Mark,
much.
you're
Mark
always
Rose,
welcome to come back to Racer Radio whenever you like. We appreciate having you on. Michelle, thank you. Don't go anywhere, folks. Gun Sports Radio's coming up.
And don't forget to like us on Facebook. Yep. Racer Radio has its own Facebook page.
That's right. And by the way, I looked at Michael Schwartz's face. I don't think he's got good news for us in Gun Sports Radio. But
again,
yeah. So it's probably sometimes one of the most depressing shows I do. Thank you, California governor.
Oh, brother.
But that's another story.
All right, so we'll be back next week, and happy trails.
All right, take care, folks. Stay tuned, though. Don't go anywhere. Gun Sports Radio.
On AM 1170, The Answer.
The clouds that we're together.
Just sing a song and bring the sunny weather. Happy trails to you till we meet again.
Racer Radio on AM 1170 The Answer is sponsored by Love Radio Network.